How's it going, everyone? And welcome to BryceBits, where you can get a little bit of wisdom. I'm Bryce Newberger. I'm a pastoral mentor with Side by Side Counseling based here in Arizona. Let's jump on in. So today we're going to look at this one. Am I the a-hole for tricking my sister-in-law into stealing our baby name? Throwaway account for obvious reasons. It's funny. So I, 33 female, have been married to my husband, Kevin, 35. Oh, get that where you guys can see it. There we go. So I, 33 female, have been married to my husband, Kevin, 35. And people using names on here. All right. For almost 5 years. We have a 3-year-old daughter, and I'm currently pregnant with twins. Male and female. Okay. My brother-in-law, Terrence, 38 male. It's funny because you create a throwaway account and then you use all their first names. Has been married to his wife, Jess, 39 female, for 7 years. Jess and I are total opposites. Jess is an extrovert. She's kind of loud, boisterous, and some would even say abrasive. I'm an introvert. I'm not quiet or shy, but I'm reserved. I'm also very observant. The first time I met Jess, I told Kevin that we would be like oil and water. We have never been overtly hostile towards each other, but also have never gone out of our way to bond. Well, it seems like you kind of came to that conclusion before you even gave her a chance. I'll throw that out there. Unfortunately, Terrence and Jess had fertility issues for several years before finally having their son a couple weeks ago. Prior to this, Jess was very odd towards us when I was pregnant with our daughter. The best way to describe it is hot and cold. 1 minute she'd pretend like she didn't care we were having, like we were talking about it at family gatherings. The next she was volunteering to throw the baby shower. 1 minute she pretended like she didn't care. Didn't care while we were talking about it. Well, you got to give her some grace. I mean, fertility issues are rough, and it's very difficult. I'm just marking my place there. It's very difficult when you're struggling with fertility issues and getting pregnant. I've known people going through that. Had some experiences with it myself. You want to be happy for other people having a baby, but that envy is difficult to deal with. And so kind of like you're expecting this, you wrote this person off before you ever gave them a chance. Well, they're too loud and boisterous. We're oil and water. That's not very fair. I have friends who are reserved and I'm pretty boisterous and we get along, and vice versa. There's been people way louder than me. And so I just think you weren't really giving this person a shot. You didn't really care to know them from the beginning. And now when you're pregnant and they're having fertility issues, you're not really having any grace on them. You're expecting them to, you're like, pick your emotion and deal with it. Is kind of what it comes across as. Like you need to, are you dealing with grief or aren't you? Well, grief doesn't work that way. That's not how going through grief works. You will try to be on your best behavior. You'll struggle a little bit. You'll kick it in gear. It's embarrassing. It's hard to deal with. It's like going through puberty. Like, it's rough. All right. I gave a firm no to that. Okay. Why? Like, why? We both assumed the behavior was because of their fertility issues. Yeah. And I didn't think too much of it. Okay. But the strangest thing she did was almost demand to know what we were naming our daughter before we announced it. She asked us constantly after our gender reveal and got visibly annoyed when we just laughed her off and said it was a secret. We couldn't understand why the hell she cared so much, as she was not expecting at this time. Regardless, we didn't share the name with anyone. Okay. When our daughter was born and her name was finally announced, Jess was kind of obsessed with it. I don't know how to explain it. She kept going on and on about how beautiful and unique the name was. To this day, she comments about how different it is. The name we chose is a common Welsh name, which wouldn't be all that different except for the fact that we are African American, LOL. I've always gravitated towards names from different regions and found and fell in love with the name years ago and never shared it with anyone prior to Kevin. Fast forward to both of us being pregnant at the same time, Jess's odd behavior continued towards me, but this time it was more blatant. Snarky comments under the guise of jokes about how big I was going to get with 2 babies and that my body would never snap back like it did after a daughter. That's messed up. That's pretty messed up. She even accused us of getting pregnant on purpose after she announced her own pregnancy, even though the whole family knew we were actively trying at the time of our announcement. Well, you don't really plan it. I mean, when you're trying, but it's not a sure thing. I was already a few weeks along and didn't know. One thing about me, introvert or not, I'm no pushover and will stand up for myself, but I choose to ignore Jess because I knew that would get to her more than... Okay, hold on. But I chose to ignore Jess because I knew that would get to her more than confronting her, as she seems to starve off drama. Okay, so, I mean, you wanted to get to her. That's my That's my problem. You didn't say I chose to ignore her because it would make things better. You chose to ignore her so it would make things worse. Jess was obviously much further along than we are. However, we have our gender reveal prior to Jess giving birth. And right on cue, the baby name interrogation started again because they decided not to find out the gender of their baby in advance. Jess kept hounding us for both the names we already picked out, but again, we declined to answer. Okay. Family's tough, man. Family's tough. We'll talk about that. After days of this, I got annoyed and asked Kevin if he thought the reason for her insistence was so she could use the name first since it was due first. He kind of chuckled until he realized I was serious and said he didn't think so, but anything was possible. So I said, let's test it. We were due to host my father-in-law's birthday at our house a couple weeks later, and I decided to leave something in the unfinished nursery with a girl and boy name on it to see if Jess went snooping. Because Kevin thought it was silly, he would give me $20 if she did it. So I went onto some sites where you can order custom name wall decals and put the names Aria Rose and Sebastian Ali. These are the names that we like but aren't remotely close to what we chose. This will also be our last pregnancy, so even if Jess did use them, we wouldn't care. I didn't complete the order. I got the final page and then printed it out and hid it in a dresser drawer in the nursery. Oh man, this is Everybody Loves Raymond style drama. The party goes off because we were busy hosting. We never noticed if Jess disappeared for any extended period of time. When I went to the nursery the next morning, nothing was out of place and the order sheet was still in the exact location. So we both just went, well, and forgot about it. I did, however, notice that Jess never asked us about the names again. Then Jess gives birth. We went to the hospital to give our congrats. We go in and see the baby and asked what his name was, and man, I cannot properly explain this crap. The crap eating grin that came over Jess's face as she says Sebastian Ali. I mean, she was really proud of herself. And honestly, it's the most vindictive I've ever seen her look in the years I've known her. Okay, there's good data here. But instead of reacting to how she was expecting, I put on a performance like I had graduated from Juilliard. Oh my God, that's such a great name. He's so cute. Look at his little face. Oh, I just love him so much. Welcome to the world, Sebastian. Auntie is going to spoil you rotten. I mean, I'm laying it on thick without an ounce of bother. Doesn't seem like you care about your little nephew then, right? He's so cute. Look at his little face. I love him so much. You're laying it on thick when you say that? So he's not cute? You don't love him so much? You're not welcoming to the world? You're not going to spoil him rotten? All right. An ounce of bother. The range of emotion on Jess' fate went from shock to confusion to rage in the span of maybe 17 seconds. This just sounds so exhausting and toxic and terrible. I mean, you're both wrong. That's what I'm going to say here. I don't get to say that in our sessions, but meanwhile, my husband is holding in the laugh of the century. We later say our goodbyes, and he gives me the 20 in the elevator while almost crying laughing. All I could say was, like I thought. Oops. Easy. All right. This was 2 weeks ago, and we haven't seen them since because we wanted to give them time to settle in with a new baby. Yeah, 2 weeks is pretty normal for that. I have heard from my mother-in-law that Jess doesn't seem as thrilled about motherhood as she thought she would be, considering how long it took them to conceive, but said it might just be baby blues. Yep, that's fair. Obviously, I think she's just disappointed that her petty move... Boy. Okay. Obviously, I think she was just disappointed that her petty move didn't have the desired effect on us. I did share this with my sister, and while she laughed initially, she did say that I was kind of an a-hole move. So am I the a-hole? Yes. And here's why. You don't care about this relationship at all. You don't seem to care about that baby at all. You don't seem like a pleasant person. And while this sister-in-law also seems like she has her problems, stealing the baby name and all that, it doesn't, This is a toxic relationship, and you are 50% or more of the toxicity. So, again, if this person was in a session with me, I wouldn't be so blatant. I would be more like, okay, let's talk about how you felt about this and try to get them to process their lack of care for this relationship. It's not my job to make them care about this relationship. My goal wouldn't be to change her feelings for her sister-in-law if we're having sessions together. My goal would be to encourage her to break away from her connection. Like, watch Netflix, go on YouTube or something. It seems like this is you care too much, and it just doesn't seem like, it seems like what you're getting out of this is some schadenfreude, like it's some joy out of her misery. You don't care about the baby, you don't care about the pregnancy. Honestly, if I was at the hospital with my kid, I would not welcome you there. You would do me a favor by staying away, because that's a time for me to focus on my family. It's a time for me to be overjoyed with my new kid, not your petty drama. Even if I'm in the wrong and stole a baby name, that is not the time nor the place. And if she's dealing with baby blues and dealing with motherhood, I mean, she had fertility issues, and now she has the baby. She's dealing with that. There's a lot that goes into that. I would wager you $20 if you could read her mind. She probably doesn't care as much about this as you do. You seem to be the biggest person in her life in your mind. That's what it comes across. You think that you are the main character in this person's drama, and that is a problem. That's a problem for me. That is a-hole behavior. I don't like, within the subreddit guidelines, right? I don't like to label people that way. But I'm just saying that you've all the negativity is coming mostly from you. Yeah, if they're stealing the name, they're kind of crazy. Like you guys just don't get along. You just don't get along. So don't hang out. There are people that I've met in my life. I'm a pastor. I'm a lovely guy. I make friends easy. I love making friends. I'm a people person. I will say this. There has never been a person that I genuinely didn't like when I sat down and got to know them and hear their story. That being said, there's people who don't mix well with me. There are people where we are not meant to hang out, and it's good for us not to hang out. And that's okay. Like let them have their space. I'll have my space, and ne'er the twain shall meet, right? Let's read some of these comments. Not the a-hole. No one told her to go snooping. She thought she had taken something important away from you and was proud of it. You clearly pegged her correctly. It should have been worse. You could have been chosen a tragedy name, and that child would be stuck with it. Yeah, I think this reply took the bait. You really sold a narrative. Op really sold a narrative, and this person bought into it. And just, they're just taking what you say for face value, but I think they're kind of missing the bigger picture, which is you guys should not hang out. Like, you should not be friends. You're not good influences on each other. And not the a-hole, and well played, just got exactly what she deserved. Okay. I mean, yeah, this is the disappointing side of Reddit. Not the a-hole, love how op husband teamed with her. They're kind of cute. LOL. It's pretty toxic. There's really nothing cute about this. Like, this is not good. Not the a-hole. That's hilarious. Plus sister-in-law, put sister-in-law on an information diet without anything having to do with your pregnancy and kids. Yeah, that's smart. Sister-in-law probably isn't done trying to cause drama. You're also trying to cause drama. I'm just gonna point that out there. Like, you're reveling in this. You're looking for it. You're feeding off of it. You're like a drama vampire. You need the blood of this drama. The best information in here is like information diet, right? Like, don't let her know about you and your family. That's the best part. It's separation. I wonder, this is one of your relationships, but I wonder how you're treating people at work. I wonder how you're treating people out and about in the world. You don't seem like you have a lot of compassion. You don't seem like you're very empathetic to other people's needs. Not the a-hole. She tricked herself into naming her baby a name she probably doesn't even like. Yeah. Yep. And here we go. This op says, this is what I am starting to feel a little bad about. Yeah. The kid deserved a name of his own. Yes. Yes. What about the baby? Not something thrust on him because his mother wanted to be spiteful. Not something thrust on him because his mother wanted to be spiteful, and not something you thrust on him because you gave into the spite. This kid would be, now the name's fine. The name's totally fine. But if the kid, you're right, but thinking about the kid and his name, he's a victim of both of you. He's a victim of both of you. So I'm just saying, like, you're not, I don't want to call anyone an a-hole, but you're not innocent. They're not innocent. This is a toxic relationship. If we were in a session, I would work on you separating yourself from that toxic relationship. I would look at how you're treating other relationships. Do you feed off of drama? That's not a healthy way to live your life. That's not where you want to live. That's not the sweet spot of existence, so to speak, So anyways, if you guys have situations in life where you're really feeding off of drama, you love Schadenfreude, where you're just other people's misery sustains you, and you honestly, most people don't think that way. They see themselves as caught up in drama. They see themselves as victims. Guys, if you're dealing with some of this stuff, right, or you've got your own emotional issues that are going on, right, just feel free to schedule a session with me. We can do a free 15-minute consultation, see if we're a good fit. If anything I was saying resonated with you, maybe we can do some work together. If you hated everything I had to say, then maybe we wouldn't be a good fit, and that's okay. That's totally fine. But I will catch you guys on the next one. Oh, by the way, you can find me over at sidebysideaz.com. I forgot to throw that in there, but I'll catch you guys on the next one, and that's it for now. Bye.